Step we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe. Arm in arm and on we go, off from Mary's wedding. Over hillways, up and down, myrtle green and bracken brown, past the shilling through the town, all for sake of Mary. Step we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe. Arm and on we go, off from Mary's wedding. Plenty herring, plenty meal, plenty pig to fill her creel, plenty bonny bands as well, that's the toast for Mary. On we go, heel for heel and toe for toe. Arm and on we go, off on Mary's wedding. Cheats, spiders, Romans are bright and far, their ready star. There is love from all by far, is my darling Mary. On we go, heel for heel and toe for toe. Arm and on we go, up on Mary's wedding. Over hillways, up and down, myrtle green and bracken brown, past the shilling through the town, of the sake of Mary.
Well, this looks like it'll be home. I'm going to try to follow, for once, the rules. Well, actually the rules changed. When I started winter camping, the rules were pretty much, just leave no trace and go wherever, be safe kind of thing. They had no rules. Well, winter camping has become much more popular over the last number of years. And now the rules are quite simple. It's designated sites only. So I've rode about 10 miles into a backcountry lake here. And there's a few other people out on here, and a couple of lakes I've gone through. It's like everywhere. You find it, a lot of people are everywhere. Like, okay, I'm really not roughing it very much. I got a picnic table. There's a fire pit buried under there. There's a grate over there if I want. Well, what I'm cooking tonight doesn't need any of that. But so, I tried to get to two island sites farther away, but they're both, I could see discoloration on the snow, indicating slush, and I saw one sled previous to me had gone through there, and I saw it all churned up. Looks like he might have got stuck and they had to dig himself out. I'm by myself, so I did not want to deal with that. So wisely I decided I'd come over to check this site. This was not my first site. We got a pretty strong south wind right now. It's really, really mild. It's only -5. The wind will rob the tent of heat. But I think what I'm going to do is, originally one of the things I thought is I'd go set over in those trees in there, but it's not big enough for my tent. And then I thought, well, I'll go a little bit farther and trim some alders out and set my tent up there. But there's a dead birch leaning right over top of it. It's hung up on another tree, and a big leaning dead spruce. Widowmakers. So that's not going to be good. So I think what I'm going to do is I know I'm camping in a breezy point, which for winter you want to be tucked in the trees. You want to be out of it. Like the temperature difference, you walk inside those trees there, just over there. You really feel it. Out here, it feels a lot colder than what it is, just because you're exposed. I guess I could try maybe setting up over down in there, but it's not, it's uneven ground there, and there's not enough room for my tent. This seems to be the tent pad on this area. It's the most level spot. I can level it out and pack it down. I think we'll give that a try. Like I say, it's not the best, but oh well, let's see what happens. It's pretty. Weather's got this kind of like ice pellet thing going on here. Let's see if I can zoom out there. Let's see the far shore. Out that way. And it's not that far away, but it's kind of cloudy. Well, we're losing light pretty dramatically here, which will be dark in about half an hour. Debating going to drill a hole just past my tracks, just out there, and I'll see if I can pop a tip up and see if I catch something overnight, or at least have it for the morning. Go out and fish a little bit in the morning. So last time we chatted, I was worried about I was worried about a deadfall and being able to I was worried about deadfall and setting up in a couple spots because of widowmakers and dead trees. And after I stomped out a tent pad here, it turned out there was this massive tree up there, and it was overhanging this area. So I debated for a while about whether I wanted to take it down, because it was far more wood than I needed. It was far more wood than, I felt like bringing down. But I sat here and I thought about it, and I thought, okay, this is a campsite, a designated spot, and it's dead, and all it's going to take is a good windstorm or something for it to fall down. And I was debating it, and I went and I looked at the base of the tree, and I actually kicked around the base of the tree, and I'll show you that. And when I kicked around the base of the tree, it was about 20 to 30% rotten, right at the base. So at that point, I decided, well, if I don't bring it down, someone needs to bring it down. It's going to come down anyways. So I took out the chainsaw and got her going and took it down, and well, I didn't have to worry about wood. So there's more wood here than, I'll use about 6 feet of it, 8 feet of the tree. And maybe when I go to leave, I'll cut up a whole bunch. There's a down tree on the trail on the way in that I'll probably take care of as well on the way out, but do a little trail maintenance. But yeah, so I'm just melting some water. So quiet out here. It's a lot of work. There's probably a reason that a lot of those YouTubers are young, but it's a lot of work. It was very rewarding. It'd be nice to be out here for 2 days, but on the way in, it didn't quite work out for me. I ended up getting stuck, and then I lost light. I didn't think I'd have enough light to get all the way in here, and I'm glad I made that decision, because once it gets dark pretty quick, and it's not like summertime where you can just set up your tent and go to sleep. It probably takes 3 hours to make camp in the winter. So that includes getting wood and getting your stove going and getting the tent in and everything. So, but it's nice. It's so quiet out here. Well, time to prepare dinner. So we have a very, very special dinner tonight. Originally I'd planned to go out and do this outing right around Robbie Burns Day. And normally I have a very fancy dinner that I go to. It's a mess dinner for the unit. And I wear the kilt, I dress up in a bow tie, and you know, it's formal wear. So it's a mess dinner, everyone wears their finest, and it's a great time to get together with people that I only see once a year, usually at that dinner. And I get to eat haggis. Now, a lot of people might malign the Grand Chieftain of the pudding race, but tonight, our special dinner is haggis. Why, hello! Welcome to our little Burns night in the bush. A week late, albeit. But better late than never. See, we got the neeps and the tatties all ready to go. And the pot ready for the haggis. I got some wood, so we lift it up out of the water. Anyways, let's, alright. I see you got the table set already too. Oh, welcome to you. That should, that'll raise it up out of the water. We just need to take a little of that water out of here. Put it in with the potatoes. And a little in with the tatties. The tatties need a little bit more. Well, let's show you what we got here. Come on over, take a look. Don't be shy, don't be shy. All right. Oh, we got, this is a meal fit for a king. Yes. We have soup, cup of soup, mind you, vegetable soup. That's the first course, right? And we have our neeps. We got our patties, and the main course, the haggis. We'll be putting on right away. Haggis is thawing right over there. We had to put a little bit of wood on the fire. Now it's kicking up a lot of heat here. So I think we'll cover all these pots up. It is 6:15. I think we'll probably eat about 8:30. Probably about how long it'll take. Alright, we're not going to hit 1910. So, well, 1910 is usually when the first... We'll have soup at 1910. Anyways, here we go. We got everything all ready. We got the address to the haggis and a wee bit of Burns to read tonight. And oh, there's something. You're right. There is something missing. I gotta get it right away. Where are we here? You'd never think that a fellow with the name of Alpha Whiskey would ever forget the Scotch. Of course not. Absolutely not. A little bit of Glenmorangie here. And I think we have a little bit of Auchentoshan should we want to try a little of that. But we're only out for a night. Let's not go overboard here. Alright. We got a couple of hours for this stuff to cook. And for me to cook by the stove. And we'll be right back at you then. It is 7:10. Yep, 7:10. So, we start with our first course of our Burns supper in the bush. Everything's cooking really well. The neeps are taking a little bit longer. The haggis is done. The potatoes are done. I had to open up the door because it was too hot in here. So hot. Well, it's soup. A little cup of soup. Anyways, you don't need to sit here and see me eat. So, we'll be back once we get to the main course. Well, it's pretty hot in this tent. That's why they call it a hot tent. And we're just upwards of 8 o'clock, so it did take us 2 hours to cook our dinner. Well, shall we begin? Let me see if I have it here. I do not have it memorized. I can recite certain parts of it, but I remember. And I have two choices. I could do the Lowland Scot or the Modern English. However, I will choose the Modern English because that is a little bit easier for me to probably do. Some of those words are pretty hard for me to pronounce. May good fortune fall upon your honest, jolly face, great chieftain of the sausage race. Above them all you take your place, stomach, tripe, or gut. Well, you are worthy of a grace, as long as my arm. The groaning platter there you fill, your buttocks like a dustant hill. Your wooden skewer would help to mend a water wheel, while through your pores the juices ooze like beads of amber. See the country laborer wipe clean his knife and skillfully cut you up, making a trench from which your bright entrails gush. Like any drainage ditch, oh then, oh what glorious sight, steaming, rich. Then spoon for spoon they reach and strive, the devil take the slowest, on they all push, until their well-swollen bellies are soon stretched as tight as drumheads. Then the old man of the house, just about to burst, quietly murmurs a quiet grace. Is there anyone who over his spicy French stew or hot pot that would disgust a pig, or would hash that would make her vomit with perfect loathing? Who can look down with such sneering, scornful view on such a fine dinner? Poor devil, see him over his rubbish, as weak as a withered reed, his leg skinny as a spindle, a good whiplash, his fist thoroughly unfit to charge through any bloody river or battlefield. But note the simple countryman, haggis fed, the trembling earth echoes his footsteps. Press into his massive fist a sword, he'll make it whistle, and legs and arms and heads will be lopped off, like the tops of thistles. Your gods who make mankind your care, and provide us with food, old Scotland want no watered-down stuff that splashes in little wooden dishes. But if you want her grateful thanks, give her a haggis. That was translated by a gentleman actually here, Ian Ross in Winnipeg. He does an amazing rendition, and he actually runs courses where he would teach people how to properly give the address to the haggis. Well, what do you say? This thing is sliding everywhere. I was going to bring my scan-do to do it properly, but I decided not to. You know, the very first time I actually had haggis, somebody actually sliced it. It was sliced like meatloaf. That was the first time I had it. I didn't know any better. Oh, that looks so good. Unfortunately, you can't smell. That was a very good haggis. That was a good meal. Tasted just like haggis should. It was actually a very good haggis, quite peppery, but not over so, not too much. It's kind of like the way it should. Anyways, it was a really good meal. You know, I have leftovers that I put in the toboggan to freeze overnight, and that's the nice thing about living in a fridge. But yeah, I'm full. I haven't even had any dessert. I do have I have fruitcake. I didn't have any shortbread, which would have been traditional, but the shortbread actually got eaten, you know, before Christmas. So it is what it is. So anyways, we got some. I haven't even had dessert, so I'm going to clean up my dishes here. It's something you don't see a lot. I don't have a lot of light anymore. I just got my Lucy light going, and I don't want to burn it completely out. I got some candles maybe for later if I need them, but that won't help with recording. So I think we'll call it a day here. We might see some tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll go fish a little bit in the morning if we get a chance to. If not, I'll tear down and then maybe go fish for a little bit or something like that, and then head on. I'm just melting some more water. We've been doing really good with the heat here from the stove. Very, very hot. Very hot. I've had to actually keep half the window open like this. Just otherwise it just get way too hot in here. We have had an incredibly mild winter, and unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, a lot of people are taking advantage of outdoors because of all the various restrictions from public health. But you know, it's super mild. I think it's supposed to go down to like under -10. I think it's like -9. I think is the night what it's supposed to go down to tonight. I can tell you the North Face is way too warm, but earlier in the week, the only other bag I have like a -3 or -9 bag. But I think it's a Phantom Marmot, a Marmot Phantom. But yeah, I figured I'd take this one. I have like a big barrel bag that's synthetic, but it's huge. It's, you know, 3 feet by 1 foot in its case. So unless I'm car camping, that thing, you know, that's more what you would use for like November car camping if you're going to a hunting camp or something like that. But coming out here on the snowmobile, I could have brought it, but I just felt it was too much bulk, so I left it home. I tried to thin down my gear this time. Nah, so. Still too much stuff, but I like my comfort, and you know, yeah, it's working pretty well. All right, I'm going to clean up, move on with my evening here. See you in the morning. Some of my tripping companions get on me from time to time about why I melt snow rather than use lake water. Well, one of the reasons is I really don't like tannin colored water. I don't like drinking tannin colored water. I don't like looking at it because it looks dirty to me. So most of the time I will filter it. If I'm on a canoe trip, I kind of accept that, you know, once it's filtered, it's fine. Don't notice it as bad. But the water out here in Horseshoe Lake is actually really clear. It's not that bad. So, you know, that's lake water, and it seems to work fairly well. So, depends on your lake. Well, good morning. It's 9:30. I was up around 6, and 7 o'clock I'd been out on the lake and just at first light, because apparently that's the best bite out in this area, is first light or last light. And anyways, we got out there. If you remember yesterday, we were talking about this particular site and setting up on summer campsites. And I situated the tent this way, with the door here and the stovepipe this way, to carry the smoke that way. And that was how the wind was. As you can see, the wind's changed a little bit here. We've been through most of the day, we've had a bit of a north wind. Now it's a little bit this way. And it's created a bit of a nastiness along the side of my tent here, because you can see all the ash is coming down on the side of my tent. Normally, I try to set up in such a way where that's blowing away, and it's very specific when I do that. But it's going to leave a mark, I think. You know, a white tent, as nice as they are, they're hard to keep clean. One thing I do want to show you is a lot of times, you know, on these Kni-co stoves, you can probably see inside there. You can see the fuzziness inside that rain cap. Well, if you don't pull the little, or cut the spark arrestor off, all that stuff clogs up. You know, all that ash and soot clogs up your the little grate on the end. And then you're not able to, it'll stop your burn, you won't get a good draw on your stove. And now, if I was staying here longer than today, because today's my last day, I'm going to pack up shortly, but if I was staying here longer, I would be taking these sections apart, taking a little spruce branch or something like that and reaming them out and cleaning out the soot. It's so peaceful out here. So quiet. There's not a lot of wind. So actually, you know what? As much as I had my reservations at the start that we weren't going to have maybe the best time up here with the wind and whatnot, in between dead trees, and you know what? It's all right. I managed to do it. I got a little ice fishing in. We cooked a wonderful burn supper. I can hear the bacon frying in there. I'm going to have some bacon and eggs and pack up my sleeping arrangement in there, put it away, and you know what? I think we're going to call it a trip here. It's been a wonderful time. I've enjoyed it.